Good morning, everybody. Yeah, it's Sunday morning. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Welcome to a brand new edition of Holding Court here on the First Day Hoops Report YouTube channel. This is your first time tuning in. I'm First Day Hoops Report founding editor and Holding Court host and producer and editor and all this good stuff. Chris Stevens. Hopefully, you all are having a great start to your 2006. This is where we talk about the week that was in high school basketball in the state of Delaware. And if you're new, I invite you to subscribe and tap the notification bell. You can also follow us on all manner of social media, which will be in the description below. And be sure to bookmark our website. The website thing, my webmaster, he and I are trying to connect to kind of get this thing back on the even keel. But for now, we're going back to the old WordPress model. You'll find that link in the description below. And don't forget to like and comment on these videos. We talk back and I talk back in the comments. If you have something of interest to say, if you have a question, I'll answer it. If you have a thought, I'll share it and we can, rap about it. Not a lot to talk about because, of course, New Year's Day was in the middle of the week. And now that the kids have like a full extended break, here's my humble opinion on breaks. I would prefer that the kids start school later so they have less breaks. And I know the kids are going to, strangle me. And I feel like the teachers probably feel the same way. But back when I was in high school, I can tell you this: we didn't start school till after Labor Day. And of course, now the kids start the third, fourth week of August before Labor Day, and it's like they don't really have a summer. So I really, prefer that the kids have a summer as opposed to being out, during the winter, during the fall and the spring and all of that. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't work in education, so I can't call it. But we didn't have a lot of games this week. We did have an important one on Saturday. That was Sanford at Dover boys. I was down there for that one. Ran into a lot of people. I mean, it was a full house. Brad Myers from the News Journal was there. Sean Green from WDEL was broadcasting game with Jason Bourne. And Sean had me on as his halftime guest talking about the season up to date. So I'm grateful to Sean for always bringing me on. Probably going to join him for a broadcast as a color commentator, as I've done each of the last 2 seasons. Very much looking forward to that. Man, I love being on the radio. I mean, I don't have a radio, I don't have a radio voice technically. It's just hard to keep, in the flow of the game sometimes. But, Sean does a great job of directing me while we're broadcasting games together. So hopefully in the near future, you will hear me on WDEL as the color guy for a boys or girls basketball game here in the state of Delaware, as I've done the last couple of years. Very excited for that opportunity. Andy Walter, of course, from the State News was there. 302 Sports. It was a full house. I mean, it was what you would expect from the defending state champs versus the team with state championship aspirations. Sanford won that game 42-38. And my takeaways from that are really simple. Sanford plays outstanding defense, and Dover has to find someone else to score the ball other than Javion Dennis. They have a lot of talent on that team, but it seems like the offense isn't clicking yet. And that's just from what I've seen. This was my first time seeing Dover in person. So I could be wrong. Maybe it was just Sanford's defensive effort was a little more top-notch than I anticipated. But Sanford's guards, Nico McNeil, Kareem Hart, Azir Elgood, they did a phenomenal job of not letting Dover really get worked into their offense that well. And when you have 3 pesky guards, they're not very tall. I mean, neither one of them are going to be, neither one of them are 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", or whatever, but they will make you work for every inch of hardwood. And when you have guards that make you work as hard as they do, it takes a lot out of your offense. And that's what those guys were able to do against Dover on Saturday. And Jayden Taylor, I mentioned it during the highlight package that I put together for the game yesterday, is that part, the face-up jumper part of his game has improved so much. No wonder he's committed to the University of Delaware. I mean, he's a D1 prospect. Make no mistake about it. He did a good job. I mean, he picked up 2 early fouls and sort of calmed down after that. I think he was kind of wound up because, of course, they were playing the defending state champions. It's a full house. Everybody in the media is there. Scouts are probably checking this game out. So, I mean, well, he's already taken care of. I mean, he's already committed to UD. So, I mean, that's neither here nor there. But just the atmosphere of that game. It was state tournament atmosphere in there yesterday. And Sanford did a really good job of forcing Dover out of their game. And when you can force a team out of their game and they can't necessarily play your game, which is a little bit more patient, then you've got a chance to win. And that's what Sanford was able to do on Saturday. Now, shouts out to Sai, Uncle Throw That. I saw his reel yesterday. He said Sanford's the best team in the state. And he asked if anybody would dispute that. I can't right now, but I don't think St. Elizabeth is far behind. I wish they played each other this year. Oh my God, I wish they played each other this year. A Sanford St. E's game would be very, very interesting. Maybe if Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we will see these two in the Final Four or maybe even the state championship game. Lord knows I would love to see Sanford and St. E play. Do they play each other? Let me check the schedule. See, that's the beauty of, being able to check things out while you are talking. So let's go back. Let's take a look. Oh, yes, they do play each other. All right. My bad. So they play each other. Sanford hosts St. E's on Saturday, February 15th at 1:15. It's an interesting start time, but we'll be there. We will absolutely be there. So very much. So yes, Sanford and St. E do play each other this year. That could be another one of those state tournament, state championship, Final Four type previews. And that would be a very exciting game to watch, from an athletic standpoint, because both of those teams have athletes. I think Sanford's height advantage is probably what gives St. E's the most fits. But I guess if you really have to come down to it, I think Mason Price could guard Jaden. Could. I mean, it depends. It really depends. But that we got at least another month, another 6 weeks before that matchup, comes to fruition. So, but it's on the schedule. I forgot that, you can look at the schedule while you're recording a podcast, because you guys really don't need to be focused on my face. You need to be focused on the words. So it doesn't matter if I'm just, fooling around in the background. That's the beauty of production. But yes, very good game from Sanford on Saturday. I don't think this knocks Dover off the pace necessarily. I mean, they're the defending state champions until they're not. And the Henlopen North is going to test them. They still have Sal's. They still have a couple of other, games on the schedule that are non-conference that could, I think, as a matter of fact, St. E's visits Dover later on this month. So there's a lot that Dover can learn from a game like this in terms of ratcheting it up, learning what it's like to have that target on your back. Because remember, this is the first time in Dover's history, and they have a long state tournament history. I mean, I looked up at the banners. They have like 20 something Henlopen North championships. They've made, like I said, they made the most state tournament appearances before winning a state championship than anybody. So when this tournament started back in 1967, geez, that's a long time ago. It's before I was even born. Dover's been in it most of the years that we've had a state tournament. So for them to win the state championship for the first time last year was really just kind of like a surprise. Like, wow, Dover's never won one before. They did now. And now that target is firmly on their back and everybody's aiming for them. So now these guys that have, returned from that state championship team a year ago, they know now that it is going to take their best effort every night to hold on to that championship. So they deserve a ton of credit for getting there, winning it. But now the hard part is keeping it. And everybody's coming for you. You've got St. Elizabeth playing some really good ball. You had Sanford, who just beat you. Salesianum is 1-7 at the time of recording this. They're playing Bonner Prendy today, so they may be 1-8, but they'll be fine. I still feel like there's enough in their schedule to where they can steal another 6 or 7 wins to get in the state tournament. And don't forget, they haven't officially approved it yet, but they probably will in the coming weeks, that the state tournament index, the point index now, 3 points is going to count. A win is going to count for 3 points. So because let's just say if Sal's gets to 8 wins, that's 24 points. Then you take into account that most of the teams that they play are going to have a 5-on-1 or 7-on-1 winning percentage. So that's probably 15 to 20 points right there. So you add that up, that's 44. That's 39, anywhere from the neighborhood of 39 to 44. You divide that by 20. That's either 1.95 or a 2.2 state tournament index, which is more than enough to get in the state tournament. Will it be enough to host a game? I don't know. And I was joking with Sean Green yesterday about this on the WDEL halftime. Imagine if you're McCain or you're Dickinson or you're Early College or Lake Forest or Archmere or Conrad or somebody, you usually don't host a state tournament game. You get a chance to host a state tournament game. You're excited. You get your fans riled up. Everybody's going to be coming out, and Sal's is going to be your opponent. Whew. It's a cold game. It's a cold game, but you can't discount Sal's. And once they get past the first round, whoever has that in them in the second round, even though they have had a bye, you've got to be careful for Sal's. So, yeah, there's a lot of basketball left to be played. I mean, make no mistake about it. So it's still hard to tell who's the favorites, who's in danger of missing the state tournament because it's far too early for that. It is January 5th. And in the regular season does not end until the final week of February. So we have another 8 weeks of this. We all can just, let the games play out. And on the girls' side, I wanted to get to the girls' side because, it's equal opportunity. There's a lot to like about everyone. Ursuline obviously is going to be great. Shouts out to Gigi for getting to 1,000 points in, her sophomore year. And if she hangs around here, 2,000 is within reach. She's just that level of talent. She's just that far ahead of everyone else. And that team is starting to play together a lot better now. You got your new parts, your Nia Murphys, your Sanaya Johnsons, your Catherine Langs. They're starting to really, Sanaya Johnson, they're really starting to pull themselves together here. And, Coach Noonan is, he coaches a real upbeat brand of basketball that they love to play. So Ursuline is going to be, the favorite until they're not. Caravel right now, I'm really impressed with what Larry Banks and those girls are doing. They're 7-0, and they have not played a home game yet. They have been on the road nonstop for the first month of the season. In fact, I think their first home game is either this Wednesday or the next. So when you've gone on the road, I feel like that's an interesting, scenario to point out, because when you're on the road as much as these kids are now, which I'm not a real big fan of, but again, the game has changed. You got to take your kids and let them see other talent so they know what they're up against. But when you spend as much time on the road on buses, and in some cases, hotel rooms, because you got to stay overnight at these tournaments because they are like more than a bus ride away. You grow bonds, you develop trust in each other, you get to know each other as people as opposed to teammates. So Caravel being 7-0 at this point, I don't know if I call it a surprise, but I would maybe a pleasant surprise, because they have not played a home game yet, and their gym is one of the most unique in the state. It's not very big, but it gets noisy. It gets, it's very, you're on top of each other in that gym. The last time I did a game at Caravel with Sean Green, we were recording up on the stage. That's where you have to, if you're with 302, if you're with Delmarva Sports Network, if you're Sean Green at WDEL, that little stage in the Caravel gym is the broadcast booth, is media row, basically. So you're up on the stage watching the game, come at you or go away from you. So it's a very interesting atmosphere there they have at Caravel. And they won there. They win games there. But for them to be 7-0 at this point in the season is a pleasant surprise. And they're gonna give Sanford a run. Not Sanford. They're gonna give Ursuline a run. I think Sanford will too. People are gonna look at that 3-5 record, because our top 10 comes out tomorrow. By the way, our top 10 comes out Monday. People are gonna look at that 3-5 record and say, "Oh wow, Sanford's in trouble." No, Sanford has just played the best of the best out on the West Coast and at the Governor's Challenge. Marcus Thompson's gonna test his kids because, well, They're going to win the independent conference. I mean, that goes without saying, but you got to see something other than the independent conference, to get your girls ready for the state tournament and college and beyond. So Sanford's going to be fine. St. E's plays really good ball. They've already beat Padua. Padua is still 6-2. So DMA is 6-1. I think we really need to watch DMA very closely. Smyrna's 4-1. Their only loss is to Kate, but I noticed Kate was missing Amalia Fruitman the last couple games. Hopefully that's nothing serious. Hopefully she comes back. Cape is still going to be a tough team to reckon with. Flight A, I can't call it, man. Middletown is unbeaten. Apple hasn't played a Flight A game yet. St. George's is still decent. Flight B, AI, Howard, Hudson. That's it. That's the list. Those are the teams you need to worry about on the girls' side in Flight B. There's so much to keep track of that it's too early to start talking about the state tournament, which is beautiful because we all are going to go to these games. We're all going to see these results together. We're all going to find out who's playing the best, who's playing not so good, who's struggling, who's possibly on the bubble in the danger zone. We got 2 more months of basketball left, counting the state tournament. Hopefully we find out where the state tournament is going to be, because that's something that DIA is reckoning with, because U of D once again is being greedy. Yes, I said it. And hopefully we figure this out and we all know where we're going when the state, the Final Four, the Elite Eight, and the championship game is all settled, because I feel like this is going to be a fun state tournament coming up, with this new point system. There's going to be a lot of moving parts. That's one thing one of my editors used to say at an old newspaper I used to work at. Whenever we would sit in our editorial meetings working on stories for the week or whatever, he would say, this has a lot of moving parts. And that just stuck with me. And I'm just like, moving parts? Like, okay, fine. Whatever, we'll get it done. But yes, there are a lot of moving parts to the high school basketball season in the state of Delaware, and it's just getting started. And I look forward to bringing it to you guys and all of us, in the media space. We are looking forward to sharing what we've seen with you guys, and greatly appreciate y'all for checking me out and checking everybody else out. So thank y'all for watching this edition of Home Court. Once again, contact information in the description below. Same for all of our social media platforms and different things where you can check us out. And thank y'all again for watching. Hopefully your New Year's off to a good start. From here on out, it is a sprint to the state championship. Who makes it there? We'll find out together. Till the next time, y'all take care of yourselves and each other.